Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, members of the panel, for being here. And a special thank you to Leo Edelman and his wife, Angie, for being here today. They're from our flooded area in the 3rd District in Iowa, and I think they bring an exceptional amount of knowledge about the situation that we're facing. They're not just farmers, but they're also small business owners in the area. So they've felt the impact from an agriculture perspective, but also from, even though specifically where their business is located wasn't necessarily flooded, traffic isn't flowing well. People have left the area. We're seeing a major impact on our rural communities. So I'd like to take this a little bit further from where Mr. Crawford was about the systems, the processes, and the communications that you've experienced throughout this entire time. Just to go back, and I know that there was some information presented on this, but from January to early March, we had record snowfall and freezing weather. Just to put it in context, we had 340 individual city record low temperatures in the Midwest in 2 days, January 30th and 31st, when our temperatures dropped to, yes, folks, as low as -50 degrees. And then in February, we got about 25 inches of snow just in the Des Moines, Iowa area. Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska got 27 inches. North of us, about 30 inches. So we were inundated with snow and cold weather, then hit by the cyclone blizzard, so one of the most intense this country's ever seen on record. And the water had no place to go. Ground was incredibly frozen, of course. Everything was oversaturated from the heavy snows. And so where did it go? It went into our farmlands and lowland areas. And today we're seeing the results of that. So I'm very grateful that the President signed the disaster bill into law. I'm thankful that in the House I was successful in getting $3 billion of funding specifically for the Midwest flood, because it's very critical that we address this. But as Leo said in his testimony, he discussed that he's had major flooding before, in particular in 2011, when the levees breached about a half mile from your farm, I believe. And he stated in his testimony it took 4 years to clean up the mess, so almost until this last flooding. And then my questions and concerns that I've been hearing, and we've talked in the past, we got a lot of work to do with the Corps of Engineers, and I'm looking forward to working with Mr. Allen and Mr. Crawford on that. We'll table that for a minute because we know that there's a lot of communications issues there. But I've also noticed that within our own structures, our departments in government, that there's issues there with our procedures and processes. And so, Leo, I'd love to ask you, given your unfortunate experience with flooding, is 60 days an appropriate time frame to apply for these important programs?
In the past, yes. 2011 were our unique events, and the extensions are definitely important because even today, 97 days in counting, this flood has been going on. 2011 event, 140 days. So we can't get out there for the ECP program. We can't get out there to see any damage because there's water on the ground. We can't get out there to do anything to recover. We don't know how much of our grain out there is destroyed if they're in those bins that are landlocked out there, whether they're salvageable or not. So extensions are very important, yes.
Okay. So what does your farm look like at this time?
We have numerous tracts of land, but the home base, the water is going down because the Corps of Engineers are getting that breach plugged. In fact, it might get stopped today. So the water is going down. Interstate I-29 opened up 2 days ago from St. Joe to Highway 34. The entrance and exit ramps are not open, so you better have a full tank of gas when you get on there. So there's a lot of over-the-road trucks getting stranded out there. I know that. So, but the roads between are destroyed. To get from east to west is impossible. Those east-west roads are completely destroyed.
So limited time to be able to see what you need.
Exactly.
Other question is, I've heard numerous stories from folks, small business owners, farmers, and homeowners alike, that they don't know about all the resources they have access to. I know that you're heavily involved in this. Do you know of people who have no clue about what things they have access to and how they can find those resources?
Yeah, the wheels are turning on that. We had a meeting yesterday with Governor Reynolds on this task force with SBA and Homeland Security, and things like that to get people. We've had a lot of issues with temporary housing, getting those trailers into our area from, so the people are dislodged, some of them living in basements of their relatives or moved out of the area, and they want to get back home. They maybe get out of somebody else's house and get on their own. So getting that temporary housing has been a huge issue. And, but otherwise, you know, it's a real learning curve when you have events that long, you know, to deal with it.
Yeah.
Wheels are turning.
Absolutely. Of my time, thank you. We have so much more to discuss here, but I want to thank you for being here. I want to continue this conversation that I think within our government entities, we do not have proper processes and communications in place to help our families in need. Thank you.